Even during February sweeps, Young and Restless avoids typical soap opera drama by swerving carefully around plot points that could be huge. Thoughts. Shifting gears. Among Adam's antics this week were his compliment to Kyle as he departed Jabbat and his ultimatum to Victor that he'd return provided Victoria's position was given to him. Yet, I'm tired of his being so accommodating and patient. To put it bluntly, that's not his nature. On Young and Restless, Adam was notorious for being both cold and quick to anger. But viewers haven't seen either trait in him in quite some time. Why tone down a villain like Adam, who can cause this much mayhem and emotional turmoil? When it becomes increasingly evident that Victor's plan to hand him the reins of Tucker's company isn't going to pan out, it will be interesting to watch where Adam lands next, as the current writing regime on Young and Restless is hyper-focused on where characters will be employed. As it stands, too many people are aware of McCall's financial situation. Adam might have been the one to surprise Victor and Victoria with some major life changes, but that's highly unlikely because it would be awesome. Keep an eye out for a subsequent piece where Tucker's business is discussed in further detail. Faya. As much as I miss her, I'm glad Ashley is back because her fights with Jack and her heated exchanges with Tucker are giving me all the feels. To sum up, that's the whole deal. When one is falling even farther, Deanne is only making her eventual fall from grace that much more devastating by returning to the Abbott house and angling for more influence at Jabbat. Even if Jeremy Stark's reappearance hasn't made anyone quake in their boots, he seems like a minor player at this point. The possibility of him joining forces with Phyllis is intriguing, if he can convince her. Given how plainly they are teasing it, I anticipate that something will happen to drive her to that point. Move it around, the constant bickering between Summer and Kyle suggests a breakup would be beneficial for everyone involved. These characters are so uninteresting as written, and they're also soap opera age, so they should be up to some serious mischief. Yet, if they weren't together, I have no idea who either of them would date. This is not an ideal situation. Negative detour. Although while it was great to catch up with Heather and really get to see Lucy as a teenager, Lily Brooks O'Brien is amazing. Daniel's plotline really went in the wrong direction. It seemed blindingly evident that Daniel and Lily were going to get back together after their second round of Parkside reminiscing in the dead of a Wisconsin winter. The news that Heather had moved on was predictable, but it begs the question of why they would remove the sole potential roadblock to a do-over between Daniel and Lily by having her show up in town and proclaim she was over Lily. As soon as Lily and Daniel felt themselves falling for one another again, the writers took out of the plot the one thing that could have made it interesting: Heather's fight for her guy. Sorry, Young and Restless, but you can't get us invested in this relationship by showing us flashbacks of you guys dressed as fruit. They won't have any dramatic chemistry and will be just like every other pair out there. Staggering discovery of father, Sally and Nick told a few people about the pregnancy this week, but otherwise the topic was relatively quiet. Priceless reactions from Victoria and Sharon, who were both stunned into silence, their wide eyes conveying their disbelief. When realizing that Sally didn't know if the father was Nick or Adam, Sharon's reaction was hilarious. Liked it a lot. Sally and Nick are due for a rude awakening when they receive the paternity test results, claims Sebodi. To me, this teaser suggests impending excitement. Nick's paternity, or lack thereof, would not come as a surprise. Is there a chance that Sally and Nick won't find out the results of the paternity test are inconclusive? That would mean more testing is needed because Nick could not be ruled in or out as the father. Now they must decide whether or not to inform Adam the news of the pregnancy and whether or not to have him undergo a prenatal screening. Nick and Adam are half-brothers, thus even if the child is actually Adam's, he or she could have markers with Nick. It may be improbable in the real world, but on soaps it's a great technique to prolong the big reveal.